All right, good evening. I'd like to call the North Aurora Village Board meeting for Monday, February 7th, 2022 to order. Please join me in silent prayer and meditation. Okay, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, roll call, please.
Mayor Gaffino.
Here.
Trustee Carroll.
Here.
Trustee Curtis. Trustee Gately.
Here.
Trustee Lowry.
All right, thank you. Any audience
Whoa.
comments? Here.
We had one more. Trustee Salazar. Here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any audience comments? Seeing none, push for consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Curtis. Trustee Gately.
Yes.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar. Yes.
All right, thank you. Under new business. Item 1, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 1 is a request for a special event for ABD Cycling to hold a race in North Aurora. You may remember this group did a race last year in the same area. This would be on Saturday, May 28th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It encompasses Breton, Patterson Avenues, and Fair Meadow Street. As I said, they held an event like this last year. Didn't require any road closures. They did some, I think they had some traffic control, so they were able to keep the road open. They have not submitted their certificate of insurance, but this can be approved, and then they would submit it prior to the event. And any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Gately.
Yes.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 2, Steve.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a special event permit request with a potential special use liquor license request for the Rustic Fox. They're looking to have an event on February 19th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. When they were going through the conversation with the staff, it was learned that they were going to be distributing liquor at the event. So we told them they needed to have a liquor license to do so. So because of the timing of that, in order to keep their event going that they've already been advertising, we told them that we'd put them on the agenda for approval pending that they actually give us a vendor that has a state issued liquor license so that that vendor could issue liquor at the event.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately.
Yes.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Curtis.
All right, thank you. Item 3, John.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is the approval of a contract with Waste Management for street sweeping. Our past contract has expired. This contract is for 4 years. We had 2 bidders that bid on the project, Waste Management and LRS. This time, Waste Management came in as the low bidder, and they have had experience doing waste hauling in town before, so they're very familiar with the road network. We're confident that they can get the work done. The street sweeping occurs 3 times per year, and then each bidder was also required to give us an hourly rate. So if we have special events and we need to ask them to come in to sweep up after that, that's what those hourly rates for. But this item is just the staff recommendation for this item is just to approve a contract with Waste Management in the amount of $90,192.00.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Gately.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 4, John.
Thank you, Mayor. As a part of an agreement with the town center wetlands, the village manages the wetlands over behind the town center shopping center, and that includes some maintenance by the Hay and Associates, the engineering firm, to kind of do an inventory of the plants that are back there to make sure there's no invasive species, and then also to keep an eye on the drainage and stormwater to make sure it's draining properly. After they do their inventory a couple times a year, they provide Public Works with a report and any maintenance items that need to be repaired or fixed at that time. And this is just a contract that's been going on for the past 4 or 5 years. The expenditure is from the SSA, so it's a pass through basically for the village, and we're just supervising the contract. So this item is the approval of a 1-year agreement with Hay and Associates Incorporated for the maintenance agreement for town center wetlands in the amount of $20,000.
Motion approved.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately.
Yes.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
yes,
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Curtis.
All right, thank you. Item 5, John.
Thank you, Mayor. In May of 2021, we approved the project for Orchard Gateway streetlights installation, and those lights just arrived in December due to supply chain issues. The lights have been installed up on that corridor now, and they look great. I just drove down the corridor actually about an hour ago, and you can see the difference between the LEDs and the old shoebox lights there. What this item is a request to add a change order to that contract to replace the lights on Hanson Boulevard, which is the street that's by the auto mall. This change order didn't necessarily have to come before the board per our purchasing manual, but as it's not an emergency, so we thought it would be best to bring it before the board to give you a heads up and get approval on the change order. In addition, the good news is just before coming to the meeting, ComEd responded with an incentive agreement that in addition to the cost of the lights being pretty good at $17,932, ComEd is also providing an incentive of $3,528. So we're going to get a rebate once that project is completed. So this project is the approval of a change order with Utility Dynamics Corporation for Hanson Boulevard street replacement in the amount of $17,932.
motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Gately.
Yes.
Trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
yes,
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 6, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 6 is a resolution opposing Kane County special use to allow a private landing strip. We received notice from the county regarding petition 4585 for a private landing strip for the property located at 40 West 778 Norris Road in unincorporated Kane County. The property itself is unincorporated. However, with the 2019 Sugar Grove boundary agreement, we assumed the property, which is in the packet, but it's shown right here. Just to the west of the Lake Warren Forest Preserve. They're doing a special use for a 800 by 550 foot private grass landing strip. So it'll be about 40,000 square feet, less than an acre, which is located on a property of 14 acres total. It's for private recreational purposes. I believe there may be 1 or 2 planes flying out, maybe a couple times a month. I think in the packet it indicated maybe less than 200 flight hours per year. There are no facilities associated with this. It would just be the grass landing strip that could be converted back to agriculture, which the remainder of the property would be used for. The village board does not have to approve this resolution. We just wanted to bring it before you to give you a chance to review the application, answer any questions you might have. In the event that you did want to oppose this, we would send it to the Kane County, and I believe the county boards will be voting on this in March.
So just a reminder, we have had similar situations in the past where when the county is reviewing something, this is basically our voice when we get notified of, as if we were going to a public hearing. Now the board can collectively choose whether or not to oppose something, then we submit it to the county so they put it in the record. But as Mike says, you don't have to oppose this. It's just giving you the opportunity to have a voice if you want to.
motion to approve. Second,
Discussion?
I got a couple questions. So it's a private landing strip. So obviously somebody, a homeowner over there wants a
have a small plane?
Correct.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is it house, is somebody living there now where they want to put it?
There is a house on the property, which is shown right here. I'm not quite sure if they're a full-time residents or not, but there is a house located on the property. I believe they're using it for recreational purposes, and then they, in the future, they might get into, crop dusting, through, some sort of agriculture use, but it is a very limited capacity. It's not an airport per se, but they did have to get special use, from the county to do that particular use on the farm district within
So
Kane
is it-
County.
Yeah. So is there like potential for growth back there, like homes in the subdivision?
Well, that's why we brought it forward, because again, this area, we haven't we plan on doing the amendment to the comp plan this year. So this area, the swath of land was assumed by the Sugar Grove Boundary Agreement. What we'll be doing this year is sitting down with the consultants and Housing Levine that did our 2015 comp plan and trying to assess what is the best future land use for that area. Being that the fact that it is, a somewhat commercial type of use, we did want to bring this forward, and we didn't know if it would have any negative implications on future development in that area.
So you think like having a landing strip there would have a negative effect on some commercial development?
On residential development, I mean, it would be up to whomever was looking to develop the adjacent properties, if that was seen as an impediment or hindrance.
Or commercial? What would be the best, what would your best guess for?
I would
land
assume at
use?
this point, there'd probably be some estate residential in that area, or single family homes out in that area. The person does still have to go through the state approvals and the FAA approvals before they can do this. So just getting the county approval, I don't believe it assumes that they can use the landing strip. They still have to go through the proper channels in order to operate it.
And once the county's variance is granted, that runs with the land and unless they abandon the variance or sell the land?
Yeah, I think it's two-part. There's a variance because they're within 5 miles of the Aurora airport. So that's the variance part. The special use part is the use of the landing strip. I don't know what the exact ordinance is, but typically in North Aurora's case, when we do have a special use, most times it does run with the land unless, it states otherwise.
So like this person just wants to fly around, or do you think it, like short trips?
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
sounds like.
I spoke to the property owner before the meeting, and they said that they weren't planning to use this more than a handful of times a year.
But that's not really the issue. The
Right.
issue is whether, if approved, the landing strip has a negative impact on future land use.
Yeah.
And a few times a year could become a lot more too. I mean, that's no stipulation there, so.
But it is a grass strip, so the alternative to that would just be that they would just allow it to regrow, and they're not putting down any sort of, improved surface, so.
It's a grass landing strip?
Is there a reason why they can't use Aurora Airport that's 4.25 miles away?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's like, pretty close proximity wise.
I mean, you just have to look at it the same way that we did when we had the radio station and the towers that were put in just to the north of Tanner Trails and Remington Landing, probably about 2 years ago. Do you feel that since that's not technically in North Aurora, but it's in our future growth area, that we have, the rights because of our boundary line agreements? Do you feel that that will inhibit our growth in any way in the future? And if you do, you oppose it, we send it to the county and they put it on the record when they make their vote.
All right. Okay.
And the motion to approve is to approve the resolution.
Opposing that.
Opposing.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Any other discussion? All right, call the roll, please.
Trustee Curtis,
I mean, I agree. I think it's going to impede future development. I know as a residential appraiser, FHA has concerns about residential properties being within a certain distance of airstrips or airports. So it definitely will have an impact on residential, and I would assume commercial. And then there's also a public safety aspect. I don't know if I'm comfortable with, amateur, we don't know the level of skill of these people who aren't going to be flying very regularly, flying over residential homes at a low altitude. So I'm in agreement. I would support the resolution.
trustee Salazar,
Yes.
trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Nedved.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item 7, Mike.
Number 7 is an ordinance approving a minor change to a plan unit development for the properties located at 125 and 149 South Grand Street in North Aurora. This is pertaining to the Aurora Packing Company project that's happening on east of Route 25, between 25 and the river and south of Grant Street. This project was approved, most of you remember back in 2020, there was a PUD approved, which in the case, the PUD of plan unit development included preliminary development plans, a site plan approval, a plat approval. And within that ordinance, there were certain mechanisms that allowed for deviations when the preliminary plans were approved from when the final plans were submitted and being reviewed by staff. The property is now moving forward through the permitting process and the plans were submitted. Staff took a look at the plans. We kind of assessed them as to whether or not the plans were consistent with the preliminary plans, whether or not they would require a major change, which is defined in our zoning ordinance as a change in the zoning of the property. So let's just say they come in, they say that they're in a building height of 40 feet and they come in at 50 feet. That would constitute a zoning change and therefore would constitute a major change, which basically would have to go through the public hearing process again. On the other side of the spectrum is a technical change. Technical changes allows for staff to kind of move through some of the materials and just some minor alterations to the site plan, the building facade can be improved administratively. The minor change kind of falls in between. It's not a major change that requires a plan commission review. It's not quite a technical change because in my opinion, the changes were, large enough to where I wanted to have the board kind of take a look at them and give it a blessing before we move forward with the final planning and then the building permit. So in the packet, we included the preliminary plans and also the final plans too. And this approval of this would constitute this plan set. The minor change approval would constitute the final plan set for the development, which is currently under permit review. So with that, I'll go ahead and invite any representative of Aurora Packing that wants to come speak to the changes, and we'll kind of run through what's being done and what was changed from 2020.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen West of the law firm of Downers, Colbine, West and Gensler, and our law firm represents Aurora Packing. Aurora Packing is proposing to redevelop its facility located on South Grant Street. Subsequent to the village approval in 2020, Aurora Packing decided that instead of renovating the Winco building, it would demolish the Winco building and construct just one new building over both the existing facility and the Winco lot. With the demolition of the Winco building, it gave Aurora Packing an opportunity to redesign certain portions of the project. And the elements of the redesign are described in the village staff report and are of such a nature to require a minor change to the Aurora Packing planned unit development. The changes included increasing the building area by 19,629 square feet, increasing the impervious surface area by 27,142 square feet, and decreasing the number of parking spaces from 333 to 306. But again, our required parking is 297. With me this evening are representatives of Aurora Packing as well as the design company ESI. They can go over any specifics of these changes if you would like, and they are available to answer any questions you may have.
Motion to approve.
Second. Discussion?
Can I ask a question about the increased livestock square footage? Is there going to be like proper ventilation and stuff for that? Because I heard from residents that live near there in the summer, the odor can kind of transfer along those houses on the opposite side of 25. So is there going to be some ventilation or anything to mitigate that?
Since this is a new facility, I'm sure they've taken that into consideration, but.
Sure. Dan Russo, ESI Design Services. Yes, we'll have general ventilation for both obviously with cattle, live cattle there, you obviously have to have ventilation in there, both summertime and wintertime. So yes, we would have that.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Roll, please.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
Trustee Nedved,
Yep.
trustee Salazar,
Yes.
trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis.
All right, thank you. Village President report, I don't have anything, but I wanted to yield my time to our new library executive director that's here. I think she wanted us just introduce herself and say a few words. So Shannon, welcome up here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the time to speak for just a couple of minutes. I'm swinging by to introduce myself. My name is Shannon Halikias. I'm the new director of the Messenger Public Library, and I am super excited to be working here. I have over 20 years of experience serving in libraries, most recently at Sugar Grove, so I was very interested in what was going on. So I served them faithfully for 7 years and have also worked with Aurora Public Library, served as the director of Lau Library District as well, too. In my spare time, I love to teach about libraries too at College of DuPage and Juliet Junior College. So I wanted to let you know I'm really passionate about libraries. I think we're the heart of a community. I am very excited about the thought of strengthening partnerships in the community, particularly as we are hopefully in a post-pandemic era. I've got some great ideas for a small business development center, hopefully introduce more of a local history section. But I'm really going to need your input in the next year as we work to develop our next strategic plan, which will hopefully be for fiscal years 23 through 25, depending upon our board's ideas. So we'll be hosting a survey, some focus groups. We definitely want your ideas about what you would like to see us accomplish at Messenger Public Library. And I would just really like to stress, I'm going to bring some great ideas forward to Messenger Public Library, but I definitely want to make sure we have community input coming in. So please stop by and see me. You don't have to remember my last name. You can just remember Shannon, the library director, and stop by, have coffee, get a tour of the library if you haven't been there in a while, and see what we have to offer you. I welcome questions. So if you want to ask me any questions, let me know, or just come by and have a follow-up meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee comments?
The way, yay Harners. I'm just very excited. Great community.
Trustee comments?
No.
Administrator's report.
No report tonight. Thank you.
Village Department reports. Right. Okay, motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, we'll be meeting the cow shortly. Thank you.